so much. 12 years into a lawsuit over the treatment of Texas children in long-term foster care, a federal judge will consider taking some of the toughest and really most extreme actions yet against the state.
Today, KXAN's Avery Travis listened in on day one of a hearing that's expected to last all week. Avery, what happened today?
Yeah, today, really what we were talking about was a request from the lawyers who are representing thousands of foster children. They asked the judge to not only fine the state, but they went a step further. They asked the judge to consider placing at least parts of the Texas foster care system into what's called a receivership. It's a mechanism usually used in corporate or financial law that would allow a court appointee to take control of an entity with the goal of making reforms. And experts we spoke with say this would be a rare move in this type of context, but not completely unheard of.
And how's the state responding?
Before this hearing ever began, the state began to argue that Texas has complied, they say, with the vast majority of the judges and the court's orders. Beyond that, though, they argued that a receivership could be seen as potentially a federal overstep into states' powers. Basically, by having this federal appointee within the walls of a state system, there could be some federalism concerns. Now, we didn't hear much of that argument today, but we are expected to hear it throughout the course of the rest of the week.
And of course, we want to talk about the heart of this issue, all those children in our foster care system and the very people, the social workers who take care of them.
Of course, and really most of the afternoon was taken up by emotional testimony. We heard from an 18-year-old who actually spent years in foster care. She spent time sleeping in state office buildings and hotels because she didn't have a foster placement. We also heard from a former caseworker who described long overtime, even overnight shifts on top of her normal work, where she had to watch foster children who were living in these types of unlicensed placements. Now, these unlicensed placements have been a key point in the lawsuit. It's called CWOP, Children Without Placement. And in fact, the latest report on CWOP filed shows a spike in these types of placements happened over the summer. That report also shows more than 400 kids spent at least one night in an unlicensed placement over the course of the year.
There is so much need here in Texas for those kids. It's just heartbreaking to think of them without permanent homes. Thank you so much for following this, Avery. We appreciate you.
Well, coming up, the war